Hello and welcome back to Talon 101. Season 3 has officially dropped, and that means new moves. And it doesn't surprise me at all that Hwoarang's brand new move is one from his master. That was Spinning Axe Combo, or 1 plus 2 4 in left flamingo stance. The main difference right away is that you can only do this in stance. Baek could do it in left foot forward or in left flamingo stance at any time. Hwoarang's going to be limited to doing it as a left flamingo option. The other difference is that his master's was faster by 1 frame. Hwoarang's comes out at I-15, Baek's comes out at I-14. So that, slowness should be a trade-off somewhere. Is it the trade-off on hit? The trade-off isn't on hit because Baek's knockdown on hit. This is just forced crouch with pretty good frame advantage. No, the trade-off comes in the form of safety. Not making the move safe, but slightly less punishable because Baek's 1 plus 2 4 was negative 16 on block. Hwoarang's is only up to negative 13. And there's actually a kicker to this. You could make this move really safe. You see how that went from 13 to 12? Imagine if you could make that even lower. Actually, you could. That's all the way up to negative 11. So this is the one spin Hwoarang has done to make his move, or his master's move, more well-rounded. So of course, let's talk frame data. LFS 1 plus 2 comes out at I-15. Is plus 4 force crouch, and negative 10 on block. He always transitions back to left foot forward, and there are 0 properties on counter hit. And right out the gate, plus 4 force crouch is similar to while standing for 4 on hit. The only difference is that you're not in RFF, so no RFF DF4 to really scare the opponent. Your fastest mid poke in left foot forward would be a DF1, and that's not exactly scary to the opponent. It does share pretty much the same situation as while standing 4-4, where your RFF DF4 would get stepped towards the left, and the options you're probably gonna have to go for DF3 plus 4. So you throw that out, DF3 plus 4 connects against a slightly above average sidestep. If we throw out F1 plus 2, you're still catching that. And of course, DF2, which tracks towards the left. Outside of that, you're always going to be throwing out down back 4 because that's going to be the main thing that's going to catch both sides and really give the opponent something to think about. We changed this to sidewalk left. Again, it's an asterisk for pretty much all the mids. That's why down back 4 is going to be your best option. So DF3 plus 4 still working here for as long as you're not against a top sidestep. F1 plus 2, gone. DF2, gone. But down back 4, always with you. And the same thing will happen on sidestep right. So your DF3 plus 4 tracks this way officially. Your DF1, well, it tracks there, but it'll lose to the walk, right? And then F1 plus 2 tracks officially towards the right. And of course, yes, down back 4. That's why you're always going to have to be using this move if you get LFS 1 plus 2 to connect on hit. Further proof of that, if we move to sidewalk right, as you can see here, DF3 plus 4, still connecting cleanly. But your DF1, this is where it's going to take that hit and not track at all. Your F1 plus 2, right over here, double hand thrust, still catching. And of course, down back 4, perfect. The move is unsafe. It is negative 10. And I have Asuka here recorded to do a standing jab, a standing 10-frame jab. The question is it plagued by the fact that you could punish the first hit without the second hit being a factor? Because to copy another move, right? That'd be something like LFS 3-3. The first move is negative 14, and so is the second hit. But as you can see there, even if I delay it, the opponent could not punish me with their fastest move at all. So she's like, does it have the same property? Well, moment of truth. That's LFS 1 plus 2. As you can see, the 4 came out. But it didn't record it, right? So it's a very funky way of how they recorded this move or coded it into the game. But just doing it again, as you can see, you will not have that problem. So even if the move is unsafe on block, your opponent cannot OS this by mashing as soon as they see that move. No, they have to make a decision or practice versus LFS 1 plus 2 and LFS 1 plus 2 4 in order to actually punish the move. So outside of that, you have some mental frames to work here on block. You won't necessarily get punished. Not unless you throw out the full thing, then yeah, you would get punished because there's no other option after that. So that's its general use case. You could throw it out, make the opponent think, and it's like a quote-unquote safe mid-poke but it is I-15. And most LFS situations on block would be +3 or +4. So you're roughly working around those options. You could include a +5, but it's generally not used as often, not unless you're at the wall. You take these startup frames, I-15, subtract them by 3 or 4, and that effectively means you have a 12 to 11 frame mid on your hands, while LFS3 is an 11 to 10 frame mid, which is pretty damn good. But there's a trade-off in both of those situations. LFS3 is an extremely linear move. As you can see here, +3, nothing, nada. The only time it does get some tracking is when it's connected to a follow-up, and LFS3-4 doesn't catch towards the left. LFS3 F4 catches, the second hit. And of course, a pseudo-homing LFS3-2 and LFS3-3 an extremely linear option. So the question is, as another LFS mid option that is 1 frame faster, 1 frame slower than LFS3, does it get some trade-offs? Like, does it track? Let's find out. We're gonna do it after 1, 2, 3 and see if it catches sidestep left. Okay, but there is a follow-up option to it in 1 + 2, 4. Same way as LFS3 has like 3 or 4 other options to use. So does that do the same thing here versus sidestep left? Alright, it does not. But where does that move actually track? So if it doesn't track towards the left at all, let's check sidestep right. Again, LFS 1 + 2, 4 have that same trade-off. Alright, that's a sigh of relief. So it does slightly track. Well, the second hit, right? Slightly track towards the right. So it's kind of in the same boat as a LFS back 4-3, where the second hit catches sidestep right. But LFS back 4-3 is a little bit on the slower end, but it does fully track towards the left and catches some part of the right. So the use case of this move is, it's more of a LFS 3-3 or even an LFS 3F4, or actually an LFS 3-2, a little carbon copy of the move, except LFS 3-2 pseudo homing, while LFS 1 + 2, 4 is only catching versus sidestep right. So it's really something to keep the opponent honest, I suppose. But of course, you could keep them honest with LFS 3 and 3 forward. This is just if you want to more frames, right? Because LFS 3-2 is only +1. When you compare that to LFS 1 + 2 or 1 + 2, 4, you're +4, +5 force crouch respectively. Of course, on hit, I don't really see much of a use to use it on hit. You have way more options to use that could cover given the massive frame advantage you're gonna have on hit. So like an LFS2, an LFS 4-3, even an LFS back 4-3 would be a lot more better to default to on hit. But on block, you can keep that mind game going if you're willing to. Now, this move does cause floor breaks. I understand I'm not in a floor break stage, but the clip shown on screen would show you that only 1 hit of LFS 1 + 2 or 1 + 2, 4 would be counted as a floor break, so it doesn't activate a hard wall break by itself. And speaking of LFS 1 + 4, let's move over to that. This move is +5 force crouch, as you can see, and -13 on block. And of course, keeps him in left foot forward, and if the second hit is counter hit, you get a knockdown, which is pretty good, into a guaranteed FF3 or a guaranteed back 3. So that's pretty neat. Now, the situation on hit, right, is important. This is +5. So you're basically looking at the LFS1 situation with force crouch. But your options don't really change. The saving grace for this move, though, is that you actually cannot interrupt it. Not at all. So again, this is a standing jab. If I throw out LFS 1 + 2, 4, boom, into a guaranteed hit. Can't interrupt me with a standing jab. Can't interrupt Hwoarang with a power crush. Cannot interrupt Hwoarang with a rage art. So it's rage art proof. That's a big deal. So the only time this move really loses is against Sabakis. The only time he really dies. So watch out against characters who have that. Or against characters with a reversal or a parry. And since there's no chickening and it's not an airborne move, you kind of just have to hold that if you throw that out. But that's the only way he can lose. You can't even sidestep the move. Like, yes, it only tracks versus sidestep right? But it will catch sidestep left if you try to step in between. So like that's like a side it doesn't track at all, but it will track everywhere basically if done in between. So that's something good about this move. But the real kicker here is that, as I showed in the intro of this video, you can actually get a lot of mileage for doing this in neutral randomly and watch the opponent walk into, you know, the kick, right? So that's going to be a counter hit, knockdown into an FS3 or back 3. Or if they walk in into a dash block, at least you're not getting hit by a negative 13 move or a 13 frame move. See how it comes out at I-12 consistently if you're farther away? And of course, at max range, that's going to be negative 11. So if someone was defaulting to an I-13 punish every single time, you can actually walk away safer or even potentially punish them. The other thing is that outside of just making it safer from a farther range is that it does gain more plus frames if you use it against a stance that's low. So AOP, Mantis, Hunting, it affects those stances, but I'm not exactly sure if you'd want to risk LFS 1+2 there because LFS 1+2 by itself is a high mid compared to the ground hitting LFS 1+2 4. But it is something to note of against, you know, stances that are low. The last thing that's really, really good about Hwoarang's version of spinning axe kick is that it's probably the best combo ender in open space. Well, okay, it's combo ender that spikes, not in terms of damage, but in terms of spiking. So a regular combo, right? If you wanted Okizeme, you ended it on an LFS of forward 3+4. And you either entered left flamingo stance or not, transition to right foot forward or not, and you have your Oki, right? 77 damage. You can change all of that by simply doing LFS 1+4 as your ender. 79 damage. They're in front of your face, you're -2. It's not a bad situation at all. Is it advantageous? Not really, but it is good for anything in open space. So that's off like a JFSR combo route. This is off a back 3 combo route. That's not bad. That's where its value comes in combos outside of like it, you know, floor gimmicks. Because at the wall, I mean, yes, you could use it, but its damage is, I don't know, it's not, it doesn't seem worth it. So if we do a very basic combo here, that's 57 damage. Now, if I change the ender to make it LFS 1+2 4, the DF2, 2-hit tornado, LFS 1+2 4, see, that's again high mid. So it's not connected to up 3 where you could get more damage. So that means I need to do RFF forward 3. So RFF forward 3, that's 10 points. You could use it at the wall, but I would never recommend to use it at the wall. That's about it. Yeah, so that's spinning axe kick or spinning axe combo, right? For Hwoarang and everything he's done to his master's move. It's an okay addition, but there is some redundancy and some good stuff about it. It wasn't exactly needed, just like a lot of moves in Season 2. But yeah, that's everything I know about it. I've been Frontier, and thank you for watching.